because if you're a student, I believe you get 3 years or something.
3 years.
3 years. Yeah. So you can download any of it. You can download Max or Maya or whatever for 3 years, as long as you're not making money off it. It's cool. And then you history too. As far as resources for tech artists, and I guess I define tech artists maybe in a little bit broader. Maybe it would include production artists too, because I'm a small shop and do all that stuff. What these guys said pretty much covers most of it, but the only thing I would add is, again, that sort of personal interaction. And so, for instance, with Unity, I've gotten to actually meet most of their engineers by going to Unite and GDC and things like this, and now I have personal relationships with them. I can just ping them on Skype at any time. And then also volunteering, if you show a certain level of professionalism, they'll let you into like the betas for different software. And so you get on the beta list and you learn a lot that way. I would just say, like, so having contacts within the companies themselves, their engineers, is huge.
And that brings up a great point too, is just get to know other technical artists. I mean, there's only a handful of us, honestly, in the world. It's a really small community, and just get to know them all. Be their Facebook friends, get them on LinkedIn, or sign up for their Twitter feeds. I mean, they'll talk to you. So
that brings up a good point about the amount of them. People like Jason Schlafer. If you're interested in technical art, definitely follow him and check his stuff out. Malcolm Gustav Thomas is a really good one. Yeah, there's some people that are regarded very highly in the industry that have their own personal blogs that you can go check out. You can follow them on Twitter and whatnot. And a lot of them actually created a lot of the tutorials you'll find on the internet, specifically Schlafer with his spine stuff and whatnot. So yeah, definitely find out who those people are. That's a couple of them. I don't know everyone off the top of my head, and follow them and look up their work and try to get it.
Actually, another one. The contract allows me to say this. Nomen also is a good place to look. They have good material. Pt3-3 is another one. Digital tutors. I have to throw that in if I'm going to say the other two. Shamelessly plugging away, I know. But in all honesty, there are so many resources, and what I do, part of my research day, is I actually do first look at Nomen. They're a phenomenal program.
N-O-M-E-N?
G-N-O-M-O-N.
Nomon, okay.
Yeah. And then I look at digital tutors, and then I look at Pt3-3. And then there was another one that was called Fahrenheit Digital. But there was one book that I recommend to anyone who wants to rig in Maya. It's a series. It's called The Art of Rigging. That guy, he just completely blew me away. Like, I know why a vertice moves the way it does when it's connected to a bone. And that little piece of knowledge there, I mean, it opens up a brand new world every time you learn something.
Okay, just to quickly recap, I think we're out of the questions that I was going to ask. I want to turn it over to you guys, but so tech art is a small community needed everywhere in every production. I don't think it's even arguable anymore. Whether or not it's a specialist doing it or someone who is an artist who's a little more technically inclined jumps on the tech art grenade, so to speak. Tech art is starting to vary in its scope and responsibilities. The day-to-day is difficult, or not difficult, but changes every day. So it's a really interesting field, one I'm happy to be part of. I want to thank everybody for their time and coming in.
So we'll get a request from the design team of, say, Lotro, Woodard online. They'll want this pile of rocks that explodes or falls apart. We'll then get that request. The request will first go to the production artist. They'll model what they want. Those production artists will have to speak with the designer to find out what they need to make exactly to fit their needs, because not every asset like that will have concept art for it. That asset will then come to us as a model, and we'll have to rig it up and animate it to do what they want to do. We'll actually call the exact designer who made the request over and sit down with them and figure out, okay, where in the world, we'll get the coordinates in the world that they want to place this, whether it's in the dungeon, out in the world, wherever, find out how it's going to fall, if it has any constraints of the area that it needs to stay within, and we'll have to work exactly with them. We'll then, after doing this first pass on it and integrate it, often have to iterate on that. Like, this isn't working exactly, and we'll have to go back and change how far this rock falls over here or whatnot until it works for them. And that's a really good point, is that, yeah, we do have to bridge the gap with design as well. We speak with them on any request that involves any kind of moving object or whatever. We end up having to talk to them, even a lot of the static stuff. So I hope that answers your question.
I just wanted to mention, this usually goes without saying, but Gamma Sutra is also a great place to read some resources on pipelines. There was a recent one on dead rights that I found very interesting. And I also had a question. Tech artists get to write tools that, that are very essential to the development pipeline. A lot of people end up using it. Have you ever written extensive documentation for the tools you created, and what kind of tools helped you with that? Was video, web page kind of documentation?
Give it a go, yeah. Yeah, a lot of our tool development at Turbine right now has kind of been almost as it is already in use, at least for right now. We're developing a rigging tool, and it's in the pipeline a little bit earlier than maybe, before it's a completely refined tool. So I'm sort of documenting as I go along. From my experience, at least, I like flat documentation. I like to read a document. I don't like watching videos, simply because if you're going to reference something, like, I need to know what this button does. It's easier for me to open up a document and say, okay, well, here's the button, this is what it does, than to watch through a 30-minute video and say, somewhere in here, I know he talked about this freaking button. So, yeah, right. So that's my preferred way to go. And I think documentation is incredibly important. It's something you always keep up. We have a pretty extensive, if not hated, wiki in Turbine that we keep all of our documentation on. So.
I like making videos.
I usually keep a notebook when I'm working, in all honesty. And I think I'm the only one here without any, like I am not a programmer. I'm strictly like a character person who is jumping into who's still jumping into the programming side. So when I do something and I know that I'm not going to develop a tool, and I've done some really complicated stuff that made things work beautifully, and then I forgot them, keep a notebook with you when you're working.
I have to say I don't make as many tools myself, but I work with a lot of technopartisan tools, and I've found that in my teaching that a lot of my students follow video, like 20-somethings and down, sort of like video, at least in the classes that I've taught. But I've worked with a bunch of technoparsons and software engineers who have built tools for production for my company and other companies I've worked with that don't document, and they forget how it works. And they're the ones that made it. It's a freaking nightmare.
Definitely have that issue.
I gotta say too, if any of you actually write scripts, some of the tools we have can become extensive libraries of of Python scripts, and it's important to document right inside of those scripts too. Every single line almost I document anymore. This is what this does, and I'm gonna change it to do this later, and that sort of stuff the whole way through. So if someone else picks up the scripts and wants to make some changes or has some ideas, they know exactly what everything's doing. And I know what it does a year down the line. So.
Someone right here.
Yeah, my question is for Farley. Can you really watch an entire Noman video narrated by Alex Alvarez?
I was going to say.
The idea behind Alex Alvarez, he's more of a thought than a person. He's one of the few, what I like to call, he's like one of the gods of the industry, in that he created something that I think every other school really learned from and built on. So can I sit there and, no. Honestly, I'm drinking when I watch Alex Alvarez, and I only take Alex Alvarez in 15-minute sections. Beyond that, it's like the voice of God. If you hear it yourself, your head will blow up. And that's
So Alex Alvarez is like Charlie Sheen, is what you're saying.
he is winning.
Can we move on to the next question? Right here.
Actually, I have a provocative question. All of you are men. Isn't there any female in this profession?
Yeah, actually, the lead who hired me, the two hiring tech artists when I came on 5 years ago at Turbine, the lead at the time and the senior technical artists who were most involved in my hiring were both female. They're not. One is at Insomniac now, and one is at Blizzard. But yeah.
There is a there are more males in the video game industry in general, and regardless of discipline, whether it's design, art, or technology. But yeah, there are women in our field.
I think Game Developer Magazine just had a survey for salaries and everything, and I think that for tech artists or game artists period, I think it was only 11% female.
Yeah, 90-11.
Give me time. I'm trying. I'm really trying. As an educator, I really try. So if there's any women you know who are interested in this, I will work with them so that they can become tech artists. I think one of the resources I think when you just think about games in general to look at is this guy Daniel Floyd. He makes something on the Escapist online magazine talking about this exact topic. And I think to attract more women into gaming, we need first women in gaming. So the women who are out here and working, they need to be the ones. And I think it's almost a problem where it's like, oh, they're the ones who have to speak on the behalf of the entire group. But in a way, they kind of do to let them know that this isn't a boys' club. And like I said, I myself as an educator, I'm always trying to get more women in because I think that they'll just make games better.
Hi.
Well, I just want to add to that it's not even just with gaming, I think it's with the related programming. Because I was a computer science major. It's also about 10% female. And it's also about just bringing females into that side and letting them know it's fun.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they just aren't encouraged to do it. And I think a lot of girls would find it interesting if they found out how fun it could be.
Yeah, and rewarding too. I mean,